Hello, everyone. Welcome to Queerly Recommended, the podcast where we recommend queer books, films, TV shows, and more. I'm Kris Bryant, a contemporary romance writer for Bold Strokes Books. And this week, I'm recommending a coming-of-age movie from 2018.
And I'm Tara Scott. I review sapphic fiction at the Lesbian Review and Smart Bitches Trashy Books. And this week, I am recommending a recently released sapphic romance.
Yay! I'm so excited to get to your recommendation.
Me
Not
too.
gonna lie.
Me
I
too.
know.
It was really fun to read. Hey Kris, what's been going on?
I have been sick all fucking week. All last week, I was just awful. I had a sore throat. I had a runny nose. I went through a whole entire box of Puffs Plus in one day. The big one, not the little tiny one. No, we're talking the big one. That's like 250 sheets. I blew my nose 250 times.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah.
Your poor nose.
I know. So I was having a rough week. I went from throwing out my back to getting whatever this was. So I have not had a fun August. August can fuck right off.
Yeah, your week sounds like it sucked.
It did. It sucked. I'm on the mend though. I've been taking a lot of medicine. And I did take 3 COVID tests 3 different days and they were all negative. So then I had to go back to work. So I'm feeling better.
Good.
Let's see what else. So listen to this. You know, I
Mhm.
collect football cards. It's my thing.
Yeah, you do.
So the boss's son-in-law,
Mhm.
okay, he just started collecting, like literally just started collecting, called me a few
Mhm.
weeks ago, and he's like, oh, he wanted to talk about eBay. He's like, hey, I know you sell on eBay. Can you help me? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, sure. What are you selling? He goes, oh, I'm going to start selling some football cards. And I'm like, oh, that's why you called me. He's like, no, I know that
Mhm.
you sell on eBay. He remembers when I've been selling on eBay since 1998. Think about
Oh,
that.
wow.
It's been a
What
long
do you
time.
All right. All right. What do you sell on eBay?
Like I started off selling shoes,
Mhm.
selling like pre-owned shoes. I started what really sells well if you ever want to make money is go to thrift stores and buy all the Doc Martens you can
Okay.
and then clean them up, take pictures, put them online, and they will sell. So
Mhm.
I started selling shoes and I started with men's shoes. Well, Doc Martens, and then I went to men's shoes because men don't care. They don't care. They would much rather buy something off of a photo online than they would actually go to the store and try things on.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love it. So forever I sold shoes. And here's the weird thing. I have had several people, I've quote unquote taught people how to do this, showed people how to sell and how to like
Yeah.
clean shoes and make them presentable and take really good pictures and how to sell. And 2 people make a living doing that now.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Wild.
Yes. So then I kind of got out of it because then I started writing more.
Mhm.
And I mean, I still have eBay. I have probably 125 things on right now. I've had as much as 500.
Holy shit, that's a lot of
Right.
stuff.
Well, so most of it now are football cards.
Okay. All right. So he came to the right place.
He had no idea that I sell football cards. He just knew that I sold shoes. So I also sell a lot of Patrick Mahomes things. Patrick Mahomes
Mhm.
shoes. He does limited releases of shoes. I have this. Here we go. Now you know more about me. I have a shoe. I have a shoe. I have lots of shoes. I have
You have at least two.
I
You wear the
have a
most.
pair of every one of his shoes that he's released.
Oh, you're a shoe collector.
So I have collected his shoes, but it also started a really interesting thing happened when his first shoe dropped. I mean, this was back in 2020. He was the hottest kid, hottest quarterback. It was his first shoe. So there was like a big announcement. Oh, this is dropping, blah, blah, blah. He's saying it's dropping at 2 p.m. And I'm like, I read the Adidas site and it was like 2 a.m. I'm like, is that right? 2 a.m.
Mhm.
So I set my alarm for 1:57. And I woke up And I jumped on the Adidas site, and sure enough, it was 2 a.m. So I bought like 10 pair.
Oh, okay.
And then I woke up the next day, or I woke up, like 5 hours later, and there were still some left. So I bought some more, probably like 5 pair more.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were sold out. By the time everybody thought it was time to buy his shoes, they were all sold out.
Because Kris Bryant bought them all.
I bought them all, bitches. I did. I ended up selling all but one pair. I said, I should keep a pair. And so I have like a pair of his shoes, size 12, in every single one of his releases. And I'm talking like 20, 25.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I have sold a lot of his shoes as well because they
Yeah.
sell out. I mean, Adidas sells out, and so then I'm on the not aftermarket. What's that called?
Like the reseller.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. And then I started selling cards. Anyway, so he just knew that I sold shoes. He didn't know anything about the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like every day, he calls me, "Hey, so how do I do this? And what do I do?" And I'm very helpful. I mean, because I think it's cool when I have knowledge of something, I want to share it with somebody so that they don't have to go through everything I did. Like, let's make it
Mm-hmm.
easy. I'll help you. I don't mind. I like helping people, especially when it comes to being proactive and making more money and finding a
Mm-hmm.
hobby or whatever. Then that motherfucker calls me on Friday. He takes a picture and he sends it to me and he goes, "Look what I got at Target today." And it's a Patrick Mahomes card. It's a Black Shock 1 of 1. 1 of 1. Tara, 1 of 1.
It's the only card like
It's
it.
the only card like it.
How much can he sell that for?
So, interestingly, my one of my vendors, her husband and son did a break, and they got a Patrick Mahomes 1 of 1
Mhm.
vinyl card. It's just called a vinyl, but it's not, it's just a normal card. But it's gold and it's 1 of 1. And they sold
Mhm.
it on eBay in 20 minutes, no, 15 minutes for $10,000. I know,
Holy
$10,000.
shit.
So I'm like, my dude, um, let me tell you the story. And he freaked out. He calls me and he's like screaming. He's laughing. He's like, and I'm like, I have been opening cards for how long? And I've never had a 1 of 1. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I have, but not like of the big name brands. And
Yeah.
certainly not Patrick Mahomes. No.
Oh my goodness.
So I have been holding his hand all weekend about this. He's very indecisive because he doesn't know. And so he went to talk to this card guy. And I told him, I said, I don't think you'll get that much for it because it's not top tier card. So, like in this certain box, there's like 3 different levels, and the premier level, of course, is the best card. And then there's like a concourse, which is like low level. And then I don't know what the medium is called. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
he had the concourse, which is the lower level.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy told him you could probably make 2,500.
That's not nothing.
I know. He
That's
said
a
he
pretty
paid
good return on
30
investment.
bucks for this card, this box of cards, 30 bucks at
Wild.
Target.
Wild.
So he goes, you know what? He called me today and he's like, I'm just gonna put it on for 5,000. I'm like, good for you. Good
Yeah,
for
see
you.
what happens.
Yeah. So he put it on. He's like, hey, tell me what the listing looks like. I'm like, I can't find it. He's like, what? It's on there. Look. I said, sorry, it's not on there. It's not on there. And so then I Googled it. And because he literally just opened his shop, he's not allowed to put something this big on there. So
I bet he can't.
he can't. So he has to wait to sell it. And I'm just waiting for him to say, hey, so do you think you could put this on eBay for me? No, I don't want my
For
taxes to go up. I don't want any of that.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, don't let that bork your finances.
Nope. Sorry, bud. Not happening. You'll just have
Mm-mm.
to wait. Hold it. I mean, it's a good
Mm-hmm.
card. Hold on to it anyway.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, it won't grade 10. Like I looked at the picture and I said, it's off centered. It's not perfect. You won't get a 10 on this. And it'll just tank the value if you get it graded. So
Mm-hmm.
then he went up to the card guy and the card guy said the exact same thing. I was like, yes, listen
See,
to me.
you
Listen
know
to
these
me.
things. You could be the card guy.
I should be the card girl. I should be.
Yeah, be the card girl.
So anyway, so that was kind of exciting. I mean, I was in it with him. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. Oh, let's look it up. So, and he
Yeah,
doesn't know how to search things like I do on eBay. Like I can find the nittiest, grittiest little tiny thing from 10 years ago. I can find
You
it.
basically made eBay. You've been
I
there for
basically,
every
yeah.
iteration of it.
I know. Well, eBay started in 1995 and my first sale was 1998. So I was a baby, but I
Pretty close to
sold.
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, I sold a pair of Docs that I could not wear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, hey, this was easy.
And it all began from there.
Yeah, and I'll just so yeah. So if you want to start doing this, sell Doc Martens. Go to thrift stores and then also like check like things like 6 p.m. online because they do a lot of discounted docs there.
Is that the name of a store?
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. 6pm.com is a store that you can,
Oh, okay.
it's like huge. Or even go to your local DSW, any sort of big warehouse
We have that
place.
one.
Hey! And start with Doc Martens. A lot of times you can buy them for like $10 at a thrift store and turn around and sell them for anywhere from 75 to 100 easy. Easy money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have
So,
very fond memories of the one pair of Doc Martens I
oh,
had. I had them when I was in high school and I wore them until the tread wore out.
yeah, they are the apocalypse shoe.
Yeah, I just didn't have it in me to break in another pair. Like, I loved them to death, but it was such a difficult breaking
Yes.
in period.
Right. It's gonna hurt like hell. Like to break in a pair of shoes is so much harder than boots because it just kills your ankle.
They're bad no matter what, but like if you're gonna get Docs, why would you bother with shoes?
I know. Boots are so cool. Like
Yeah, that's where it's at.
I'm gonna have to count how many docks I have.
All right, report back. Everyone
Okay,
wants to
I will
know.
report back. So anyway, so that and also I want to mention to everybody that Sapphics with the T 3.0, I am still waiting for the final sense to tickle.
Hello.
All right. See, it's because my nose is stopped up and I can't say words right. To
hmm
trickle in
hmm
and then I'll have a final count here. I'm hoping by the end of this week. I'm hoping that should be enough time because I closed the store down a little bit later than I thought I would. I said 8:15, but
hmm
I ended up closing it like 8:20. So now I'm waiting for the last few people who purchased. I'm waiting for that money to come in, the royalty money, and then I'll have a tally and then we'll do a
hmm
donation. So that's where that's at. I just wanted to let
Very
everybody
cool.
know. So that is what's new in my life. What is going on with you?
All right. We did a super fun thing on the weekend, and we took our youngest kid to see K-pop Demon Hunters in the theater. I know I've been talking
Wow.
about this movie, and I went into it, and it was funny. When we were driving to the theater, I thought, I've seen this twice. What am I
I
doing?
was gonna say, yeah, you've seen it twice
I
already.
had more fun watching it in the theater the third time. I cried again, and it
Oh
was so fun. So there was Neil, and then our kid, and then me. And Neil likes to sit on the aisle seat. So across the aisle, there was this little girl who I guess was like five or
no.
six, singing at the top of her lungs
Oh.
along with it. Because it was a sing-along experience.
Oh, nice.
They had the words up on the screen, like a karaoke thing to see. And then on the other side of me, a couple seats down, because they were empty, was this like an adult woman also singing her heart out in cosplay.
Ah,
Like she was in
oh,
cosplay from the movie, and I was like, you know
that's
what?
amazing.
This is pretty great. And like honestly, having watched it three times now, this was the time, I think because I could actually see the lyrics up on the screen, I really paid more attention to what the songs were about because
Oh,
there is a lot of music to it. And it was really interesting to see that it's like, no, it really is about self-acceptance. It's not this, when you look back at the Disney movies that we were growing up with, where it's like, change yourself for a man. And it's like, nope,
nope.
not at all. If you try to suppress who you are, you're just going to hurt yourself. Don't do that. Accept yourself and open yourself up to love from your friends. And it was so lovely. And it was also so interesting seeing the discourse about it online. I finally joined Threads. Hello, I'm on Threads.
Yay!
I'm finally there. For fuck's sake. Because if I need another social media platform, but
Right.
I'm trying to really mostly just follow people in the sapphic fiction community and keep it really focused on that. So I'm not following a bunch of politics stuff and whatever. But around the same time that I joined, a couple days before we went to see the movie, James Dobson died. And for people who aren't familiar with him, actually, you probably are because he was the head of Focus on the Family. And he was a guy who, for a certain generation of, like, he was probably directly responsible for a lot of former evangelicals,
Ugh,
myself
he's a
included.
good Christian.
He's he wrote the book called The Strong-Willed Child, and he talked about, he was a very like spare the rod, spoil the child kind of guy, and so he instructed, unfortunately, way too many Christian parents, you got to spank your kids. You
Mhm.
got to hit your kids. You can use an implement. You got to break them. If they're not breaking like with the punishment, you have to break them. And then you hug them afterwards and tell them that you love them. And he was also, unsurprisingly, also like wildly homophobic and just horrible all around. But Threads got very interesting because it was a real mix of like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking rejoiced when I heard he was dead. I was thrilled. I was like, fuck that man. If there is a hell, he is in it. And if you don't like that, don't come at me. I'm not interested. Sorry.
Right.
Like, it's, but, and there were also people who, there were other people who were also celebrating, and some who just started telling their stories of the abuse they grew up with. And then to tie it back to K-pop Demon Hunters, where it got very interesting was when my feed calmed down and it was less James Dobson, but where there started being crossover and people saying,
What a piece of shit.
"Well, it's not a coincidence that some of the people who hated him and are mourning the upbringing they should have had are finding a lot to love in K-pop Demon Hunters." Because it is about accepting
Oh.
yourself. It is
Hmm.
about loving yourself. It is about how it is okay to be strong-willed. You don't have to be forced to conform with everyone else. And I just thought that was so fucking cool. And like, I love that my kids loved this movie. My kids are not conformists, and I love that about them. I think it's really
Now I'm
cool.
gonna
And so,
have to watch it. I mean, I was gonna have to watch it before, but now I'm really, really gonna have to watch it.
yeah, it's, I mean, again, like it's definitely a kids movie, but I just think there is something so special about it. I have been recommending it to adults. The only thing wrong with it is that it's not
Oh,
queer, but also, frankly, I think it could be a queer metaphor if you wanted to read that into it. It's not text. If you want to read it into it, you absolutely can. You don't have to. Also, there's a thriving fanfic community around this.
I bet. Fanfics. I
So
love it.
yeah, that was the big exciting thing that happened. And then when this episode airs, my kids will be back in school. So looking forward.
Everybody's in school here.
It's not very nice.
I know. But
Poor
also they
kids.
get out like at the beginning of May, so
Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, no, my
that's
kids are
not
still
too
in school
bad.
then.
Yeah.
No, they were in school until the end of June. So yeah, they're gonna be back in school. I
Well,
think I'm looking more forward to it than them, but that's okay.
well, here in Missouri, we did it this way. Like I was a part of it. It's because of the weather. A lot of schools did not have air conditioning.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So that's why we started.
Wait,
I know,
isn't
but
August worse than May?
like however many years ago this was, probably not.
Okay.
I mean, August is terrible now. But also right
Yeah.
now, today's high was like 70 something.
Hmm.
So I think that, and I'm trying to think, and they would have classes leave. You would get out of class before it got like, the super heat of the day. So like
Mm-hmm.
by 2, you were out of school, because then it gets really
Oh,
hot at
okay.
3 or 4 o'clock. So
Yeah.
yeah, so but then they put air conditioning in, and so then they still kind of kept it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
So
Well, Kris,
yes.
what have you been watching lately?
So my alones are over. Both of them. Alone and then Alone Australia. I was pleased with the one winner from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he did a good job, but I wasn't super happy about the other one. And I have learned now how to read the show and know who's going to win.
Okay.
Yes, this is something I noticed. And I told Deb, I'm like, look, this person's not going to win because they show her too much.
Oh, get you more invested so it breaks your heart when they
Yeah.
leave.
And then the people who win, you don't really hear about them till later in the show.
Oh, interesting. Almost like this. If you have to go this far, we can at least tell your story more at the beginning or something like that.
I don't really know. And like all of a sudden, like who's this guy? Or who's this person? Like the
Mm-hmm.
first couple episodes are people that you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be between these people. No, and I think they were just giving them screen time. And they ended up
Oh,
just, bailing, quitting, whatever.
uh-huh.
But I will say the guy who did win alone, he did a remarkable job. I mean, I didn't want him to win because I really liked the girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who got a warthog on her first day.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about
So
her.
yeah, I was like, yeah, she's not going to win because they show her too much, and that
Mm-hmm.
person never wins. Yeah, so I've watched both Alones. They're done. They're over. I'm sad, but I will say this guy who did win, he did a structure like he built a whole house.
Oh my goodness.
It was amazing. Like in Africa, there's nothing but like shale, and I told you like no trees. It's all like
Mm-hmm.
brush and bush and rocks. And so he made a rock house.
What?
It was amazing. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this guy deserves to win because he did an amazing job.
He figured it out.
He did figure it out. And he like did rocks. He did like this big giant structure of rock, like
Mm-hmm.
square. And then he put sand and then he built another rock wall. Like it was amazing.
Oh, like insulation to keep it cool?
Yes, it was and it fell down once and he fixed it. But yeah. And like he finally finishes it and they're like, hey, guess what you won? Like he spent like maybe one night in it.
Oh no, and then they immediately tear it apart because they
Yep,
never
and they
leave the
tear it down.
structures up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But he was richer and he didn't care. So
Well, that's okay, good.
so he won the
He was
money. Yeah.
richer and like 67 pounds.
Lighter. I mean, it was a win-win all the way around.
Hmm.
Drop some weight, win some money. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I started a new series, and I remember talking about this at one point because it's a series called Hightown, and it takes place in P-Town. It is a lesbian fisher cop, like goes out on the water and makes sure that you're doing
Hmm.
everything legally. But she is like incredibly flawed. Like she drinks every night, every day. She's an
Hmm.
alcoholic. She does cocaine and she's just like she's almost hit rock bottom. It starts off she's takes home doesn't even take them home. She takes them hotels. And it's so cool. First of all, like I'm watching, I'm like, I've been there. And next up is Governor Bradford. And right here is this one. And I know where this is. So that was really cool to actually see it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then at this hotel that she was at, she is out on the beach and she sees something and it's like 6 in the morning. It's barely light and it's a body, a dead body.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're like, you're not really, the real cops, when the cops show up, they're like, you're not really a cop. You're just like a water cop, not even a water cop, just, fishing. You can't do
Okay.
bad things fishing. Anything else is not her jurisdiction.
Hmm.
I'm like, this could be she's like out and proud lesbian. And so it might be a recommendation at one point, but I need to get further in the series.
Interesting.
Yes. So I have been watching that. And then Hostage on Netflix. Super good. Not queer at all, but it's really, really good.
Okay.
It's a short mini series, so it's like finished. Like it starts and you have a conclusion and you're like, whew.
Hmm.
But it has Saran Jones. Saran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gentleman
Uh-huh.
Jack. So
Yep.
she's in it, and she's the Prime Minister of Britain, and her husband, who works for Doctors Without Borders, gets kidnapped.
Uh-oh.
And the ransom is that she needs to step down as Prime Minister within like a 24-hour period. So this thing's, it goes pretty fast, this miniseries. I think it's like 6 episodes, maybe 5 episodes. So that was really, really good. Finished that up. But it was like, I like didn't even stop. I just kept playing. Like Netflix, I think I told you, Netflix doesn't ask me anymore. They're like, yeah, we know that's her. She's binging the whole thing. Like, we're not even gonna ask her.
We're just gonna be good to Kris.
Right.
She's not gonna be able to stop watching it. Yeah,
She can't
that's
stop.
fair.
So that is what I have been watching. What about you? What have you been reading? Because I know you're a reader.
Man, and also there's been no friggin' drag races. None.
Ah,
There's been none drag races. which has been deeply annoying because it throws off the rhythm of my week, because on Fridays I watch Drag Race. But in excellent news, because I'm going to be honest, I was a little concerned given the political climate, the media climate, and all of that.
Mm,
I was a little concerned about whether or not it would get renewed, but the main RuPaul's Drag Race was renewed for the next season. RuPaul's
good.
Drag Race All Stars was renewed for the next season, which is fabulous news. And it sounds like the one that's coming up next is actually Drag Race UK, which is great. I really
Oh,
enjoy the UK series. So I just have to wait until early September, which, like,
oh, it's
fine,
now.
I guess, but I've been waiting for so long. But last week I got a migraine.
Ooh.
And I think I've said before that when I get sick, I save my seasons of the Great Canadian Baking Show for when I'm sick.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I'm almost afraid to say this out loud, but I haven't been sick in a while. Why am I saying that when I have a kid going back
Right.
into the schools
You're
next
done
week?
for. Yeah.
My kid is going to go into the school and bring home a virus
Yep.
immediately, and I will have burned this series. But I had a migraine last week, and I just wanted to like lay in a dark room with a gentle show on my laptop. And so I started watching
Mm.
season 8 of the Great Canadian Baking Show, and it's still the loveliest. And I do think I actually like it better than the British one. The British one is very good. I'm never going to say it's not very good, but like I also rarely say I wouldn't eat that, and I frequently say that with the British one.
Oh, so the new season of the Great British Baking Show starts September 5th.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. I'm so excited.
Very good. See, we do need that kind of
We
thing in our
do. We
lives.
do. We certainly do.
Yeah, so well, and I also watched the most recent season of Somebody Feed Phil. Have we talked about that show?
No.
That is my favorite show on Netflix. I can't believe I've never told you that.
No. I've never heard of this.
Oh my God. So it's Phil Rosenthal, who is like one of the creators of Everybody Loves Raymond. And it's a travel food culture show. He's just going around meeting people. I feel like I must have talked about it at some point, but he's like going around meeting people, going to different
Oh,
restaurants. In more recent years, he also makes sure to go and visit like a local nonprofit, and he highlights the work that they're doing there. So it's like
oh,
really,
nice.
really good. So it's about like getting to learn the region, getting to see what kinds of foods are important there.
Hmm.
And every episode, he used to end with doing like a Zoom call with his parents, and his dad would always tell a joke, and it was very cute. But I mean, Phil has got to be in his 60s, like 50s or 60s, and his parents were very old, and unfortunately they passed away. And so
Oh.
now what he does, his dad is Max, and Max would always tell a joke. And so now he has a comedian come on, and he Zooms with a comedian every episode and says, "So do you have a joke for Max?" And so they tell a joke for his dad, and it's in the style of the
Oh.
type of jokes his dad would tell. And it was wonderful. And this season, they
Hmm.
got Mel Brooks in one of
Oh
the
my
episodes,
God.
which was incredible. And you could see, and when they finished that
Wow.
call, he was just sitting there stunned and emotional. And you could hear the other people in the background. They were all just like, "Oh my God, we had a moment. We talked to God." Like, is what it
Right.
was. So yeah, I finished that, and it's lovely. But I have been reading a lot lately, and I think it's because I started. So last episode, I talked about Anna Stone's Mistress series. So if you haven't listened to the last episode, why have? No, I'm kidding. That's okay. So
What?
the Mistress series is based around a media company called Mistress, and so it's the various executives that they follow as they each fall in love, and all of them are kind of like into kink and whatever. The thing that I like about these books, and I've actually started reading another one of hers that I won't talk about because I'm only like 6% in, is that like they're very emotional, and there's always some kind of a big conflict thing coming, but when it happens, it's actually like resolved pretty easily. And I think my nervous system just needed some really gentle romances. And so they were sort of perfect for that. Because I was like, oh no, what's going to happen with this bad? Oh, it was handled. Okay, this is great. Like, it gets dealt with. This is wonderful. So the third book, this is actually the reason I started reading the series, because I was like, I don't think I've read a thruple sapphic romance in
It's been a
fucking
spell.
ever. Yeah,
Right.
it's been a long time. Well, there's not many of them. There's
Right.
not
That's
many
true.
that come along. But I knew this was one, and it was the third book in this series. So I was like, well, okay, I'll read the others. So for this third one, it follows Chloe, who is a florist, but her business is not doing super well until I think she's the chief marketing officer at Mistress, kind of takes an interest in her. And so that's Gabrielle. She kind of goes in, she's been going to the shop and just buying flowers because she's attracted to Chloe. Turns out Gabrielle actually has a girlfriend named Dana. They were like best friends and then they got together, but they've kind of always known that they wanted to have a third partner who's like a permanent part of their relationship. And turns out they both like Chloe. Chloe likes them. They have a great time. It's a lovely book. That's I don't know what
Mm.
else to say. It just really worked for me. I thought it was a really fun and sweet one. Yes, there is a conflict. There is an
Oh,
asshole. There is an asshole in this
ah,
book who is a problem, and it's not worth getting into for here. Not only did I really enjoy it, I think this was probably my favorite of the books. I really liked
oh,
it. I thought the way the BDSM element worked in there worked really well for me. I thought there was some interesting stuff, and I don't want to spoil any of it, so I'm not going to.
mm,
Just if that sounds interesting, highly recommend. Go get it.
nice.
And then I read the last book, and it's called Guarded Desires. And
Ooh,
so the kind of the last and final person in the Mistress team is Amber Price. She's an heiress. So she doesn't have to work, but she wants to work. And so she handles the whole charitable side of the business. I cannot remember if they have a charitable foundation or not. Doesn't really matter.
Price.
I used to work for a company that was kind of in the philanthropy space. And so I'm like, was it a charitable foundation? Doesn't matter. It surely does. Anyway, she handles all the like fundraising and making sure that they like all their philanthropic endeavors. And she's been getting like weird stalkery letters, and her security team wasn't handling it very well. Because again, she is an heiress. She's mega fucking rich. I mean, all of the people that work at Mistress Media are the billionaires, but she's like, it's not just I made this money myself. She's got like fuck you family money, which is why she has a security team. So she fires them, hires new ones, and is immediately attracted to her bodyguard, Carmen. Carmen is a former Marine. She was going to continue on in the Marines for her career, but she had to take care of her sister after her grandmother died because their parents died when they were quite young. And so, yeah, it's a bodyguard story. And it was funny when I was reading it, I was like, is it going to end up being like is she going to pretend to be her girlfriend bodyguard story? And I was like, no, 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 no. You're confusing this with the Rachel Lacey book. That's a different book. This is not that book. She does not pretend to be her girlfriend. She just becomes her girlfriend. So there is a stalker element to it, but like it's
Ooh,
fine. I really enjoyed this one too. And honestly, if there were four more books in the series, I would have read them all. So yeah, like if you've been looking for some like fun, it's like so they're BDSM romances, but it's also not like I've read some that's like way more into the kink of it all. So like if you like to sort of read it, but like you don't necessarily want to go that far with it, it's a perfect choice. And some of her ice queens are really good. Like really, really good. They're not all ice queens, but the ones that are great. And then,
mm.
Kris,
Oh, right here.
I read my first proper COVID romance.
Oh,
I know, I know, I know. And so this is where I think like maybe things will get a little bit interesting, but I remember like anytime I saw there was a romance set in COVID, including for fanfic, like it's published
oh,
fiction, fanfic, I was like, oh, it feels too soon. I'm not going to do it.
right.
And then I came across a book with a premise that I was so interested in that I was like, fine, fine, I'm going to do it. At some point, I have to read the first one. And so this one, the book starts in October 2020. And I think that was a really interesting choice. Oh, sorry, let me step back. It's called Sweet, Spicy, Delicate by Allison Ashton. It has a title, it has an author. That's important. First of all, I think it was a really interesting choice to have it start in October 2020. Because if we all kind of like think back to what was happening at that point, COVID was still very real.
Oh,
The
yeah,
world was still largely locked down,
right,
but it also wasn't in it's not those early frantic days where we were all like, what's happening? Like by that
right. We
point,
had some information.
we had some information. We probably stopped Lysol wiping our groceries.
Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah, it
probably did
depends.
it forever.
It depends on the person. So the first lead that we meet is Piper Halliday. She is an actress. She had been doing off Broadway work for a long time. She had finally gotten cast in a notable role on
Ah,
Broadway. And then Broadway shut down before she ever got to be on stage. And so
oh,
now, she thankfully was able to get a job as a waitress so she can pay her bills and still have an apartment. But like, she's wearing a mask and waiting tables that are outside just to pay the bills. One of her regulars is like, "Hey, I'm actually casting a TV show, like, you should be a part of it." And she's like, "Well, I wasn't planning on doing reality TV, but like, fuck it. It's got to be. I hate this job so much. It has to be better." The other lead is Helena Chatfield. And I think of her as being like Martha Stewart and Anthony Bourdain all rolled into one because she became famous doing the kinds of shows that Anthony Bourdain did. So, like, again, travel cooking shows. And it was a really cool premise. It was like, what does home cooking look like around the world? And
mm,
going around the world and seeing how other like local women would cook it. And it was a cool idea. And then the network it was on got purchased and they're like, "Nope, you're gonna do like a country cooking American show." And she's like, "Okay." But it was canceled because the final episodes that were filmed early 2020 were just a complete gong show. She didn't look
oh,
competent. She looked like she was drunk and it just
oh
went viral
no.
for all the wrong reasons. And they have to offer her another show. And so she's kind of in this place where she doesn't want what they're offering because what they're offering is a show called I'm a Millennial and I Don't Know How to Cook, which I know sounds so silly. And this is why I think she's like Martha Stewart. So not only doing like the home, the like country cooking kind of thing, but like she has her like housewares in a whole bunch of
Oh,
stores, but she has to be on TV for a certain amount of time to keep that brand deal. If she goes off the air, she's fucked. She doesn't get all the money.
boo.
And so she's like, "But I don't want to do, I'm a millennial and I don't want to cook." So, it's these two women that are thrown into this situation. Piper is basically recruited because she's really good at reading people and helping them calm down. Because, like a lot of people who do wait tables are really good at that.
Yeah.
And Helena's super grumpy and they start working together and then they start to have chemistry together. And it's okay. Here's the thing that's interesting about this book. I
Okay.
started reading it and I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then I kept reading it. And about 30% later, and I went on to Goodreads. This is what I'll do sometimes is I'll go on Goodreads and I'll look at the rating and I'll read the reviews. Because often it's like, oh, okay, yeah, nobody likes this. And then I'll give
Oh,
myself
yeah.
permission to stop reading a book. In this case, I read some of the reviews that were kind of more critical, and I was like, I don't know if that's fair. And so I kept reading it, but I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then I got to 30%. Neil's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know if I like this book. And then I kept reading it. And then that night, when I went to bed, I was at 75%. And I was like,
Wow.
okay,
Okay, I like
well.
this.
And then the next morning, I finished it and I was like, oh shit, I do like this. And so there's a side character I do not like at all.
Oh,
It's not bad writing. In fact, I think it's good writing. I think there's some really interesting things happening there. But yeah, I quite liked it. I think the characters, especially I really liked Piper and Helena. I liked their dynamic. I liked their vibe. It is a slow burn. Like it's a real slow burn.
mm.
Like you got to wait 70% for
Oh,
anything. Yeah. So like they are attracted to each other before then, but like nothing gets acted on it. You got to wait a long ass time. But I thought it worked really, really well. I really loved it. And I think, it just gets so good when they start spending time together outside of
oh,
filming. I don't really want to get into the whole what happened
okay.
with Helena, but it's really important. And I liked seeing how she and Piper are together and the compromises that they make because they do
Mm.
both have to make compromises to be able to be together long term. And I think that worked really well for me. So, yeah, first pandemic romance, sweet, spicy, delicate. I really enjoyed it. It would be my official recommendation, but I'm holding myself to only having one. And I
Oh,
read a book that I loved a little bit
mm,
more.
I'm excited because I know.
So,
Ah.
All right, Kris, what's your official recommendation this week?
So, my official recommendation is a movie from 2018 called Giant Little Ones.
I don't think I know this one.
So, I spoke into the remote. I was looking for a good LGBTQ movie.
Hmm.
Because also, here's something else I want to do. I'm I'm all over the place. It's Monday night. I'm all over the place. I'm surprised you've kept it together. Good job. So you. So I thought about it and like, remember I was talking about my life with the Walter boys last time?
Mhm.
So I finished the first series and one of the sons is gay.
Oh,
And
fun.
he's like after
Hopefully for him.
yeah, so it kind of works. Like he's kind of after this one guy, and this guy's like, he's not really interested. He's like outwardly gay and he just doesn't want to commit.
Mm.
So anyway, and that was kind of cute. So I was like, oh, this turned out to be nice, because there's a queer couple. And so
Mhm.
anyway, okay. So I wanted to watch a movie because that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to do a recommendation.
Yeah.
So I just said, oh, let's look through all these movies. I can't remember where I think it might have been on Amazon Prime. So here's the synopsis. Frankie Winter and Ballas Cole, have been best friends since childhood. They are high school royalty, handsome, stars of the swim team, and popular with girls. They live a perfect teenage life until the night of Frankie's epic 17th birthday party, when Frankie and Ballas are involved in an unexpected incident that changes their lives forever.
Does it involve kissing each other?
Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
So, this movie is packed full of drama.
Mm.
Sometimes I forget how terrible it was being a teenager
Oh
until I
god.
watch a movie like this, and then I just want to hug all the brooding teens out there in this world who deal with this
Mhm.
shit daily. Like, I
Mhm.
forget about it. And I like this movie because it covers a lot of real shit. Like one little thing, one little decision can change your world, can change your life. And like it could snowball and just go in a different direction. And
Mhm.
not everybody's perfect and people struggle even though it seems like they live this perfect life. So
Mm.
Frankie is absolutely adorable. Like he has a good thing going. He lives with his mom and sister. He has a girlfriend. He has a tough relationship with his dad. So this kind of added to the realism of this movie. It turns out that his dad left them for a man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So his dad, who's played by Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks,
Mhm. Mhm.
so he doesn't have a relationship with his dad. Like he's still angry at his dad. He doesn't like that his dad's gay. I'm sure he
Mhm.
thinks it's embarrassing. He never really goes into it. So, the whole time the dad is always trying to be there for him. Like lets him storm off and lets him, just get everything out on his chest because he's a teenager and he has a lot
Mhm.
of feelings. And it isn't until Frankie hits rock bottom and that Frankie actually needs his dad that the relationship starts, repairing. They start repairing their
Mhm.
relationship. Really, Frankie's trying to figure out who he is. And something happens between him and his best friends that's this massive hate war starts
Mm.
between them. It's almost like a breakup, because you've been best friends since toddlerhood,
Yeah.
Your parents know each other, like you've been best friends since you were babies and you ride bikes everywhere. And this big thing happens and there's a lot of hate. And trigger warning, Frankie does get beat up pretty bad.
Mm.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
part wasn't great. And he's really confused. Like, how could his best friend turn on him? Like, how could he spread lies about him? And it really just turns his whole world upside down.
Mhm.
So his mom's trying to figure out how to help him, because that's what moms do. And his mom, what's her name? Maria Bello?
Ooh, she's
She's the
great.
mom. Yeah. It's a really great cast. And and everybody is so believable. And I'm like, I was into this movie. Like not
Mhm.
once did I not believe it or that the acting was weak. It wasn't. It was really good. And Ballas is actually, I was like, who is this kid? How do I know this guy? And he's from 1923.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So, and I didn't know that until I looked him up. I was like, that's where he's from.
Mhm.
Anyway, so like I said, his mom's very supportive and she says, I don't understand what's happening because I thought in today's world, you know, kids could do and try and experiment everything and nobody cared.
Mhm.
So she's concerned for Frankie because she can see the downward spiral happening. And like I said before, it isn't until his dad, he finally goes and talks to his dad. And his dad really breaks it down for him. He says, you know, you don't need a label.
Yeah.
He says, it sounds like you had a sexual experience with somebody you loved and don't ever feel bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of helped him. He can see that, everybody is okay. His dad's in a good, loving relationship. His mom seems happy. I don't know if she's dating. They
Mm-hmm.
never really talked about it. Like, there's so many relationships, and it's all about healing and moving on and understanding that there are certain things out of your control. And sometimes you just kind of have to roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the acting is absolutely great, and it's a really good coming of age story, but beware of the gay bashing and a couple
Mm-hmm.
incidents that happen. But all in all, it was still a wonderful movie, and I feel like if you know that going in, then I think this will be a really good movie for everybody to watch.
Mm-hmm. Sounds really good.
Yeah, it really is. I was super happy. I actually rented one movie and I go, "Oh my God, this is terrible. I couldn't even get through the first 10 minutes."
Oh
And
no.
I paid for it too. Like, I literally said, "Okay, I'm going to rent this." Boom. And I was like,
Name
"Oh, this
it.
is
No, no, I'm
terrible."
kidding.
And I have to look at what I rented. It was like, it's only $3.99. But still, I was like, "Oh, it's terrible." And I had such
Yeah.
high, oh my gosh. And they have trailers of it everywhere.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
I'll have
No,
to come up with it. I'll have to come
don't
up with
name it.
Oh, name it? Okay.
We only promote the stuff we love.
Okay. But I'll find the name and then we'll talk about it after this. So
Yeah, find
anyway,
the name and then tell me not
yes,
what not to
right. Don't watch this.
watch.
Uh, so that is my official recommendation, Giant Little Ones from 2018. What is your official recommendation this week, Tara?
All right, mine is the latest from EJ Noyes, Make or Break.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people
Woo!
love her books. I will admit, I think I've only read one, maybe
What?
two, but I'm pretty sure only one. So, yes, Make or Break. It's like a workplace romance that takes place on the set of a police drama. And so Stephanie Jarreep is one of the leads. She is an out lesbian on the show, plays a lesbian in a committed relationship, which is very exciting. We love to see that representation on the screen, and so do all of her fans. Her co-star is also her best friend. So when I say like her
Oh,
co-star, the person who plays her partner, like her
oh,
romantic partner on the show, is also her best friend in real life. Like they've built up this like really great friendship. But Laura is straight, and the general public seems to forget that,
oh.
especially like whenever both of them are single. And so Laura kind of shows up to set one day and she's like, "Yeah, so I broke up with my boyfriend. It's your turn. I'm passing the relationship baton to you. You need to go be in a relationship, please, to keep everybody off our backs." And then she says, like, "Listen, you've had a crush on Harper forever. Like, why don't you make a move?" Harper Bell is the key makeup artist on the TV show.
Okay.
And so she and all the actors spend some time together every single day. Harper also has a crush on Steph. They flirt a little bit, but it's
Oh,
nothing
okay.
serious. And like, neither. So here's the thing: they each have a crush on the other, and neither of them knows for sure whether their crush is fully reciprocated. And Steph and Laura get signed up for this celebrity tennis match. Harper ends up, it turns out she's actually really, really, really good at tennis. She had an opportunity to like go pro if she wanted to and was like, "No, thank you." And so she says, "I can help. Hey, Steph, I can help you get ready for this." So now they have a reason to hang out outside of work.
Mm,
And, feelings happen from there. They realize their crushes may not be so one sided. This is a first person story. It alternates between both of their perspectives. I'm greedy. So I like the stories that altered first person stories that alternate between
mm.
perspectives. Although I absolutely have so much respect and I've enjoyed so many first person stories that only stick with one. In this particular case, though, because they're both dealing with very different things, I feel like it lets the story like get into more issues by having that view into who each of them are. So I think that that just makes sense. So like for example, Steph really wants to be perfect all the time, and she's afraid to
Of
let anybody
course.
see her as anything other than perfect.
I'm sorry. Isn't that all of us?
Sometimes, sometimes not. On the flip side, Harper has anxiety. And so sometimes, we couldn't see that whole fear of being perceived as anything less than perfect if we didn't get to see into Steph's
Mm.
perspective. But on the flip side with Harper, like we also get to see the way her anxiety fucks with her and like how it can be this like really awful goblin in your head that's like telling you a story that's not based on any real actual information.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I did like that, like getting to see both of them. Here's the thing with the mutual crush that I really liked. I started to think about it. I was like, okay, have I read something quite like this before? And I don't think I have, because they do both have very big crushes on each other and have had for many years. And each of them is aware that they have a crush on the other person. I was thinking through, I was like, is this like a useless lesbian kind of situation? I was like, no, I don't think it totally is, because there was Chelsea Cameron wrote a book. I think it was called Who We Could Be, and it's a sapphic retelling of Anne of Green Gables.
Mm.
And in this case, they clearly had crushes on each other, but they weren't even aware of it. Like they didn't realize that
Oh,
like this
yeah.
isn't just a normal friendship. So this wasn't like that, because Steph knows she has a crush on Harper. Harper knows she has a crush on Steph, but like I said, neither of them knows the other one is crushing. And so I think having that kind of a setup was so interesting, because when we get into the story, the chemistry is so good. Like they know each other, they work well together because they've been colleagues for like 6 years or whatever. But there's still a lot for them to learn about each other, because they haven't spent time together outside of work. They don't talk about personal matters when they're at work. Like they keep it like very surface level. So I really liked that. The other thing that I thought was interesting is that overall, I would say this was a very gentle romance. And I think, what I said going into talking about Anna Stone's books, I've just been in a place lately where I've just needed more gentle romances. Getting to read a bunch of them in a row was lovely, because, the sweet, spicy, delicate is also no third act breakup. The romance
Yeah.
itself is quite gentle, even
Right.
though some of the circumstances surrounding them might not be. And in this case, the romance itself I did find to be quite gentle, but some of the issues that happen in it are like kind of gnarly. Like Steph is a public figure as a popular actor, and some people online are really horrible, especially now, let's say that AI is available and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
kind of make anything you want with it. And so like that's a very serious issue that comes up and is treated very seriously. But it still worked with everything else that was happening. And then Harper has family that is homophobic. Harper is actually
Oh,
from Georgia. And she never really felt like she fit in at home, doesn't really feel like she fits in LA, where it's almost this like, am I performing queerness enough?
oh.
That's very real. Steph also has a lot of baggage from her previous relationship. So, like, when she's trying to pursue perfection, some of that is like the voice of her ex in her ear.
Mm.
These are all things that end up being really important parts of their individual character arcs, as well as the arc of their relationship. How can they get to an appropriate happily ever after for them? And it just worked. Like, I thought the balance was really good. The only heads up that I would give anybody is, like, when I say Harper's family is homophobic, it's on the page.
Oh,
It's not just like kind of gently referenced. There's a pretty rough conversation that Harper has with her mother in particular. And so like if you are a person who cannot bear like the idea of reading it, just like flip past it. It's pretty easy to go on to the next scene. I will say, and like her mother is not only homophobic, it's also from that like religious standpoint.
hmm.
And I've been pretty open a lot on this show about my past with religious trauma. I will say that for me, I did not like it didn't feel painful to read, because I really love how Harper deals with it. I loved how she showed up in that scene and how she really shows up for herself. I think it's really it's beautifully done. I found it empowering to read. But I also understand that like not everybody is in the same place in the religious trauma journey. So if it gives you pause, skip past it. The rest of the book is well worth reading though. So yeah,
Nice.
I loved this book. It had, I love celebrity romances. I enjoy workplace romances, especially like this, where if it's a workplace romance where neither of them has any power over the other. And so this definitely delivers that. And I didn't know how much I needed to read a book where there's these like deep and abiding mutual crushes. It was wonderful. So yeah, if you want a gentle romance, that's grounded in the real world. I highly recommend Make or Break. The chemistry is
Yay.
so damn good. I could definitely see myself reading this one again.
Yay.
Right? All right. That is all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I say this every time, but it's true. If you've enjoyed it, if you haven't subscribed on your podcast app, please do. If you have a friend that you think would be interested in any of what we've talked about today, any of our recommendations, or whatever else we've been watching or reading, please tell them about it. And if you want to support us, please check out the link in our show notes to our coffee.
And also in our show notes, we have the links to our social media sites, right? Yay.
Yes, I need to add in some more.
Threads.
Now that I got us, yeah, we're on Threads now. I'm gonna do better with Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. I found a new social media scheduler. If anybody's interested in that kind
Oh.
of nerdy shit, come find me and I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Yes. And you can always just email us at podcast@queerlyrecommended.com for anything.
That's true.
That's right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Okay, so let me tell you the movie.
Yeah, what was it?